Hi, this is Brady Erdley with Signature Scrapbooks. Today I wanted to show you guys how to do a Project Life album digitally and with our action set, because I guarantee you it'll make it so much faster and easier. I know it's the first of the year and everybody's doing the resolutions. I've been doing the Project Life, and on our site we call it Everyday Life, for 2 years now. And I do not regret it, and I know if you start it, you will love it. So to start off, we have a template. This is just one of the templates that you get when you buy our template set. This is the standard set, and all of the sides are perfect for print. It's a really good template, but there's other designs and styles if you don't want to just have the generic basic one. But for this layout, I'm going to do the basic one. And for me, I always start with my pictures, because if I put a title card in and I start putting some fillers in, I never know if they're going to match the pictures that I'm actually putting in my layout. So I always start out with my pictures. So I'm going to click this number 2 here. My number 1 is always my title card. You are welcome to do it however you want. You can put your title card here. You can put it anywhere you want. Mine is always in number 1. So I'm going to start with my pictures, and I'm going to click just the number 2. And all you have to do is make sure you're on your move tool and just click 2. Then you come over here to our action set, and I just double click this insert image. And a dialog box is going to open where you can browse to your pictures. And the folder that I want is already open, but if it wasn't, I could just click 2012. That's where my pictures would be. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. I'm doing my last week of my 2012 book, so I'm going to click on that. And here's all my pictures. The first picture I want to put in there is of the sunset that we saw. Now, it frustrates me how small these pictures are. On a Windows computer, you can change how large you want your thumbnail to be, but on a Mac, you can't. So what I have found is you can hit your space bar on your computer, and it will open up the image bigger. And if I want this sunset picture or the one before, I can just use my arrow keys on my keyboard, and it will move pictures. So I have a nice big preview. I'm going to just go back and forth to pick which picture I want, and I think I want that one because you can see the snow better. So I just hit my space bar again, and then I hit enter on my keyboard. Or you can click the open button in your dialog box. And you'll see the action set automatically puts my picture in there size to fit, which is an extreme time saver. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to click the 5, and I'm going to say insert image. And we kind of went on a road trip after Christmas for the New Year's weekend. So I'm just kind of putting some pictures in there that I want to remember my road trip of. But you can see how fast it is because you can just click the one you want, double click the action, and you can pick out your picture. And we went up north. We are in southern Utah where the weather is nice in the winter, and it's really cold up north, and we could not believe how cold. But our resort that we stayed at did have a swimming pool. I'm going to just make sure that's the one I want. That was heated, and my kids were having so much fun swimming. So we got to swim even though it was like 10 degrees outside. Okay, so I'll just click number 3, insert image. You can see this is really fast. I had my big camera and I had my iPhone, so my pictures aren't really in order, but works out. Got to go up for a wedding, and just bear with me here while I get these pictures in. We were driving along in Midway, and we saw a tree full of turkeys. I've never seen turkeys up in the tree before, so I had to get a picture. Okay, you can see how fast this really is. to insert your pictures. It's very easy to make a weekly layout. I want to show you a couple tricks you can do. I had some pictures that were really awesome of some snowflakes, and I want to put them here where the journal cards are instead of journaling. So I'm just going to click the text and hit delete on my keyboard and hit delete on that one. I'm going to click the text here, hit delete, and delete on that one too. So now I can work this just like a normal, just like these, and I can put a picture in. However, the picture I took of the snowflake, I really want to zoom in on the snowflake. I don't want it to shrink it to fit this because you won't see it. So instead of clicking the insert image, I'm going to hit the insert custom, and that's the same thing, but it will let me resize it how big I want it to be. So I'm going to find my snowflake pictures here. Took a ton of swimming pictures. Okay, so it's this one. I'm going to do that one first. Okay, and you'll see that it's going to ask me, or it's going to tell me that you can see a bounding box. Now you can resize your image to fit. So we click continue, and my snowflake is exactly the way I want it. I might want to slide it over just a little bit, but it's like a perfect snowflake. So I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and it's not going to resize that down to this size. It's going to keep it big, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I'm going to click on the 14, and I'm going to do the same thing because I got another little set that was really cool. I have never seen a perfect snowflake like that. I was so excited. Okay. And it's going to say the same thing. So I click continue. I'm just going to move those over, and then I'll hit enter, or you can hit the check mark, and it puts those in exactly the way I want them. We also are not used to freezing cold temperatures, and so we kept taking pictures of the temperature that our car was telling us it was outside, so I wanted to put some of those in. So I'm going to come back over here to the insert image. The first one was when we were leaving. We thought that this was cold. I took a picture, I put it on Instagram, and I said I'm not to be in this type of weather because it was 16 degrees. Little did we know that it was going to get a lot colder. So I'm putting one from the start and one that was how cold it actually got. We got a picture of it. -6. We were not really enjoying that. Okay, now I'm going to put my title card in. I can see I have a lot of kind of blues, and it was cold, and so I'm kind of thinking I want to do a blue. So I'm going to say insert image, and instead of getting a picture, I'm going to get a title card. So I open my title cards, and I'm just going to scroll through, see if I find one that I like. I think I kind of want to do this one that's down here. Loading them. I did do title cards in every design in every color, so that if you did want to, maybe I'll do that one. If you did want to have a certain design, you can have it in any color. Okay, I like that one. Okay, so I usually put a filler card in, so I'm going to delete the text here, delete the text there, and just click on number 12, insert image. And now I'm going to go to a journal card, and it's also at the bottom. The one that match every title card has a matching journal card. Filler, because typically if you put 7 pictures in your layout, there's 8 slots, and since there's a title card, I made a, I went too far. I made a filler card to match. So I think that's the one that matches it. Oh, right there. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure I don't click on the text. I click on the box itself because I'm going to insert a journal card in there. And I'm going to put this orange one in. It has orange off of the flower. And click this one and put the orange one in there too. And then I'm going to click that one, and I think I'll put a blue just to pull some blue over. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. Another thing I like to do is sometimes I'll put like the weekday. If you could look on our site, we have the weekday stamps. So I'll just click the orange here, say insert image, and then I'm going to grab the weekday things, and this was a Saturday, so I'm going to click the Saturday, put it in there. We had a Saturday, Sunday, Monday trip. So it put the Saturday on there. I'm going to click this orange. You can also use our brush set if you want to stamp these on there. I think it's almost just as easy just to let the actions do it, but it's your preference. I'll show you how the brushes work in a second. Okay, now I will probably delete these and put my own in this time, only because I used these weekday stamps. Oops, undo that. Make sure I get the text and the date. Then I can put my own in. How I usually use the brush set is I click and make a new layer. This is really important because anytime you brush, if you click on this and you stamp on this, it'll be stuck on it. But you want to make a new layer and then get your brush, which is right here, and then you'll click the Everyday Life brush collection here. I will typically stamp the date on my pictures, and that is just, I've done it for the past 2 years, and I like it because I'm like, oh yeah, that was the 29th. So I'm just picking a brush. You can pick your size here. Your left bracket and your right bracket on your keyboard make your brush bigger and smaller, so you can pick whatever size you want. And this is your color. I'm going to do white, which dragging just clear up to the corner is white. And I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to stamp the 29th there. This was also the 29th. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the 30th. And you don't have to do this. This is just something I like to do. It was the 30th. And that was the 30th. And these are all the 31st. So I'm going to, I guess I can do that really quick. So 31, 31, 31. And I will sometimes put the day. That's what these stamps are. So this was a Saturday. So Saturday, Saturday. We also have it so that you could do a cursive if you wanted to. Like this one is Sunday. You could just put Sunday right above there. If you want to change the opacity of the layer so that it's not so white, you can just drag this down and see that's at about 70%. So it's kind of see-through. It's kind of nice. This particular journal card has the months on there. If you go into our brush collection, you'll see there's a circle that you can use. I make a new layer before I do that one. And this was December. So I just circle it. If you use a journal card that does not have this on here, you can either use your type tool and put it on, but we also have some pre-done stamps if you wanted to stamp on December. If you use a journal card that doesn't have anything decorative on it, like this one has a flower for the filler, we have some quotes that you can use. For example, like this one. So if I was going to quote, I could even stamp this over. I'll make a new layer first, and I'll do it in black, but I could stamp this on that, and you could see it just makes a quote. If I didn't want to put this Sunday stamp on that, and I wanted to make this a filler card, I could stamp it on there. And just add some decorative, but it's just super easy just to grab anything, any brush that you want. And I have a lot of sayings on here. There's a lot of quotes that you can use. You kind of just have to play with it and get it exactly how you want it, and get it figured out. The next thing I would do is just get my type tool, which is just T on your keyboard, and then I'll click and drag a text box, and then I will type and fill in what we did that Saturday. Obviously that font is large, so I'll just pick a 12 point, and you can pick whatever font you want here. Just simple. And you put your journaling in, and you do that with all your journal cards. That's pretty much it. It's super easy. Any other embellishments you want to add, you can. There's an insert element, insert paper. If you don't like this background paper, you can change it. If you want to put in some colored cardstock, if you wanted to put blue back here, you could easily put blue. Basically super easy, but super fast too, and this is a great way to document your life. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.